Welcome back to the 2016 European Challenger Series Spring Finals, where we're just a moment away from the deciding game in this best-of-5 series. Your PTSD is triggered. Oh,
I hate Silver Scrapes.
Yeah.
Just brings back dark memories of a best.
Reverse sweep is potentially on.
Yeah.
But
at least it doesn't take us 8 hours to get here.
Huma have to now win a game on blue side, which they didn't do in game 1.
Exactly.
All 3 of the previous games, picks and bans has given them a little bit of maybe options in terms of like counter picking, and it's been interesting because we've seen a lot of priority on the Sivir, the Corki, and the Braum at first, and now it seems to have transitioned to the Trundle. And I wonder if the teams are going to sort of realize that now.
You see the value of a best-of series going the full length, and teams in terms of adaptability, flexibility, and more so exposing their weaknesses. In game 1 and 2, Copenhagen Wolves exposed their kind of forced team fighting instead of split pushing and how they didn't really understand teleports, but they got away with it. Game 3 and 4, Huma was like, hey, you guys suck at split pushing. You know what? Let's split push you to death. And then every time a crucial screw-up happens on the side of Copenhagen Wolves, whether it's teleporting to save a tower and then playing from TP disadvantage, or not being able to hold the Trundle in the side lane anyways and not force anything somewhere else on the map, or overextending somewhere, it is all generated by this initial pressure from the split push.
Yeah, and I want to talk about Werler, the guy who's actually sort of initiating it or handling the pressure, because it's him sitting in that lane. In the first 2 games, he got pulled into the team fighting, and Huma tried to contest with Copenhagen Wolves. He ends up having, terrible scoreline. He ends up having a limited impact, 4-10-8. You can see the stats on your screen. But then when he becomes unlocked and almost unleashed, maybe, in the Trundle into the Nautilus, he's been completely comfortable, completely free. This game we just witnessed, Rudy came down, gave 2 early kills, secured them, but helped out Werlib. And Wicked was playing on the back foot the entire time against a style that really, as a team, Copenhagen Wolves don't know how to play against. And I'm just very impressed with Werlib on split pushes.
And we saw that Trundle coming out for Wicked in the series as well, but just not put the same pressure down. What has been your impression of him so far in the series, and the teleport plays and the way he's controlled his lane?
I mean, I think in team fights they were working. They're on the same page, mostly because the studio is really quiet, so you can actually hear the team shouting, and it's always Wicked's loud Danish voice coming through. So he's actually directing the team, but I think one of Wicked's main weaknesses in historic view was just teleports in general. Not looking at the next 5 minutes, or not really finding the good mark for that teleport. And obviously, if he's the one calling, this is purely speculation, by the way, because I don't have access to comms. But if he's the one calling the shots, you can see that they're not really working or incorporating his teleport well into the play. I think when it comes to team fightings, he's shown aggressive moves and really engaged, and I think it's important to bring that to the stage as well, because sometimes players are very, very hesitant. But I think it's the whole team playing around this split push that will decide the next match. If Huma gets in composition that can really have the favorable split push matchup, and they can play the macro accordingly.
There's one caveat. There's one caveat to that, because Huma have had the lead in I actually think most of these games, 3 if not all 4. And Baron calls cost them game number 2, almost cost them, previous games. So there are mistakes coming in from the shot calling, but I do agree entirely that split pushing and playing the side lanes is something that Huma just leaps and bounds better than Copenhagen Wolves at the moment.
Yeah, and we saw kind of some cracks here in Kato too, this matchup. Going for the TP Corki, what was it, Corki LeBlanc? I don't know, man. The double TP in the mid lane, I don't see it. One side LeBlanc with teleport, I get it, pick on Wicked a little bit, but Jesus Christ, play the matchup like it's supposed to, play aggressive summoner on the actual guy that has to win. And if you go up against LeBlanc and you blind pick teleport as Corki,
don't bring him in here and make him watch it. Guys, game 5, a lot from both sides. I know the players are ready, so quick predictions. Who's going to take it home here?
Huma, if they don't make mistakes at Baron.
Okay, you always have that caveat.
That's conditional. Huma.
Okay, fine. Huma as well. I'm going Huma unanimous.
Twice Huma. We'll see what happens if the Copenhagen Wolves can take it or it be Huma. The teams are ready on stage. Let's hand things over to Pulse and the guys.
I am Pulse and these are the guys, and we are ready.
Yeah.
Great. So we're ready for this game.
Is that like a
the band
gang name?
or
Like,
we're going to gang now. Okay, the crew, Pulse and the crew. Yeah, maybe.
It's a club.
A club. That's true. Yeah, we should make that.
Damn it, now someone's going to steal it.
Yeah. Come on, Deficio.
Not sure anyone is going to take Pulse and the
Because
gang
he said it.
or the guys.
Pulse and the guys. Somebody out there will now.
Yeah.
If I don't get an invite to Pulse and the guys.
Not sure. Pick a band though, boys.
Yes.
Guys, gang, whatever it is.
Guys.
Trundle. It's been a big deal. Huma is on blue side now, which technically hurts them. because you don't have to ban Jax now that he can no longer last pick it.
Yeah, Boo's sad now.
You can technically remove the Trundle in the pick and ban phase if you want, or you take it first rotation if you are Copenhagen Wolves. I wonder if Huma wants it so badly they could even first pick it. But then you put up, you know, a Kalista as bait, and you're like, first pick Kalista, first pick Trundle. You know which one do you want?
Well, Twisted Fate and Quinn are banned out. Obviously, just aimed at those mid laners right now. Poppy against Wicked. I mean, you just have to, really. Jax against
Banning
Whirlips.
Jax?
They do ban the Jax, all right.
Maybe ban Jax and Trundle if you're Copenhagen Wolves. Are you that afraid now of it? Or will you just give Wicked that Trundle, even though I think Wicked was better when he played Nautilus and he just could actually get into these team fights?
No, they just leave it up. They've left the Trundle available.
They might want to take it in the first rotation.
At this point, there's so much available for Huma. It's like you either take the Kalista here, and then give the Trundle over. Do you then trade it? Because Pinoy, honestly, hasn't really shown us a whole lot from his Kalista in a while. It's been a good few games since he's played it.
There's also the Gragas, which has been such a contested pick for all the junglers.
Yeah.
But I think putting this trade up here for them with Kalista and Trundle is super smart. But as you just said here, Pinoy's Kalista is not something we've really seen being a massive carry threat before, where Whirlip's Trundle has been a big carry.
Right. And now it forces the Wolves to take Kalista.
Oh, they have
because
to.
you don't let the Kalista and the Trundle go through, so they have to take that.
Maybe bait it a little.
At this point, I mean, you've got to look at it probably there's like the Alistar. Obviously, you don't want to lock that in because it locks the Trundle down, but there are so many options available.
It's the same situation, right? Alistar's been the next most contested support.
Yeah.
Braum is still there, technically, so Wolves are in a good situation where no matter what, they will get one of the two really strong supports.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of people put so much value on the Kalista Alistar still as a 2v2 lane, but I think Braum also serves the purpose pretty effectively. So you are in a pretty good spot when it comes to support trading, but this is all red side being able to put up what has been the three most contested picks, basically, in Gragas, Kalista, and Trundle. If we look at just the last couple of games, now of course Braum being the next one, but then if Alistar is there, value evens out a little bit.
And that was also Kindred picked up as well, and Alistar is pretty good into Kindred because of the ultimate, of course. Not the reason you pick it, but nice in interaction, of course, with Gragas as well. So Rudy looking to go ham again. That is the Alistar being thinked about, so makes sense.
There's a couple of pivot points here for Huma to round out their composition. Do they want to go for something like the Ezreal, the long range that you know they've gone for? We could see a similar thing that Huma ran in a previous week, which was the Zillion and the Cogmore together. It is AD carry in mid lane that we're looking for. That's an outside chance, I feel, that could actually happen. The reason I would suggest that is you already kind of are looking for a lane swap scenario, because you don't want to face against the Kalista. Although that is now Kalista Janna. Which is not a lane we see very often at all.
I mean, it is a great lane. Yeah. My problem is, when you play against split push, you do not want Janna on your team. Like, I have seen Immortals pick Janna, Soraka, and whatever against split push and comps, and it is not very strong. You need something that can force fights. Alistar can force these fights with Kalista, and that means, well, you're setting up for split push, we're gonna dive your mid laner.
Yeah.
This here now for Copenhagen Wolves, you got disengaged support, Gangplank a pick I didn't expect to see between these teams. I think you need to be extremely good on this champion to make him work right now. That's why a lot of LCS teams have just dropped him almost.
Got hit by the nerf bat pretty hard.
Exactly, but if you are a fantastic Gangplank player, you can really make him work still.
Yeah.
Well, we're seeing a very similar setup to the last game, but with a even more earlier game, or at least comfortable pick for Holy Phoenix here. First game since game one of this series. We're seeing the priority really on this Lucian
the first
for
pick.
Huma.
Yeah.
That they first picked in game one.
Yeah.
So obviously this GP is a flex, expecting it to be mid lane for Kadril. It's a pick that you can and usually would run TP on. You have presence in other lanes with the ultimate. So it's not exactly outside of what you'd expect for Kadril. I do not want to see this go up to Wicked in the top lane, though.
But what can Wicked pick, really? I mean, that's the problem, right? Because he wants to play Nautilus here. Ooh. That's not an option for him. So clearly this has been a pick he's been hiding a little bit, because we haven't... All semi-final, it wasn't banned, it wasn't picked.
Yeah.
It was just, for both teams, it just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Clearly it's something he's been hiding, and now saying to the team backstage, you know, guys, game 5...
Bust out the secret weapon.
This is the thing, like, if they first pick that Trundle, I can play this into it.
But hang on, I would kind of think more so that it's like, well, they're going to pick Kalista, so we'll get the Trundle. I don't.
But you gotta put up, as a team
Right.
there, you will put up the scenario of
Yeah.
basically Gragas first pick, Trundle first pick, Braum first pick, and Kalista first pick.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do we take then in the next rotation, and what do we lose? So clearly they have had this scenario. I mean, okay, they take the Trundle, we go Kalista, Gragas, that was instant lock, no real
Yeah.
surprise. And we then get either Alistar, Braum as the expected supports. They didn't change it last minute. I said Janna instead. So we're suddenly running again a 1-3-1 split push comp with double TP from Copenhagen Wolves, and now you have Gangplank ulti to take care of side lane waves in case Whirlip is pushing on this Trundle. So if you make the same trade where you rush up mid lane as an example, and he's pushing bot, GP ulti will ruin it for the Trundle as the split pusher. But Wicked has to show something on this champion.
I mean, it's a bold play, busting out Gangplank
It
in
is.
Game 5 of the CS Finals here, and yeah, I mean, he hasn't played it all split long, didn't play in the qualifiers, haven't seen him play it at all, so it is absolutely a secret pick coming out. Can he execute on it? Because, of course, as you mentioned, pretty much everyone else has dropped it.
Well, it's
as
still,
a pick.
that's the thing, if you're really good on Gangplank, it is still top tier.
Yeah.
But so few people are good enough to make it top tier.
Yeah.
All right. Well, potentially for the last time today, well, it will be the last time today, hashtag HMA win or hashtag CW win for the team you think is going to take home the win here in the Spring Split Finals here in the Challenger Series. Godbro opening up into the mid lane. We're just going to see a fan. So usually we see at least some people hit each other, but this time both teams are going to play a little more defensive.
And not only have we seen most players drop GP out of their most contested picks, most top laners haven't touched GP in a good few patches, at least here in Europe. Mostly mid laners have been playing GP. We've been seeing a lot more Fiora, Poppy, that kind of setup from top lane, which GP typically doesn't do great into. So this is an interesting one for Wicked to come out with.
He does have the advantage that in a lot of the melee matchups, it's fairly easy for him to farm and scale up, and then take these quick trades with his passive, proc the barrel, and then get another passive hit in there, and he has pretty decent then trading for himself. I'm just happy also to see Lissandra being back, because I think it is such a strong pick, especially also for Cadril, the way he played it with teleport. Into LeBlanc, yes, you can struggle a bit in the laning phase, but because you have TP, you can play aggressive, burn potions on both sides, recall and TP back to lane, and then you just have that global pressure that also allows Copenhagen Wolves to match the split pushing a lot more by running a proper teleport champion, not a corky TP.
Proper teleport champion. All right. Bot lane is going to be taking this Gruff. We'll see if Huma can actually get it onto the AD carry this time, because that's in the first game. Kind of went to that Bard. So should be able to pick this one up. I think they just split the XP there, so that's fine. Mid lane is still trading off, as you mentioned. Early levels should be better for Godbro at least. Gone for also the cleanse as well to get out of the ultimate.
So Wicked got a couple of minions there before he had to back himself away. Same for Whirlib, so it's fairly even on that respect. But you can see there is the invade from both supports. This has become fairly standard. Wicked's going to fight Cuss off.
Yeah, he got hit by Trial by Fire and actually does a lot of damage in a short burst like that. Doesn't decide to go for the final hit on concussive blows. It's so tempting to do that. It's on 3 stacks and it's like, come on, I can get this done. But you may die for it. Nukesalot was just putting a bit of damage on as well. Oh, he's coming in for round 2.
Oh,
He's looking for the steal.
too late.
Trying to get a steal. Both teams fairly late joining in with their dual lanes because they're doing full clears, starting all the way on top side and clearing down with the jungle. And now top laner joining a bit later. Big wave being built up by Copenhagen Wolves. You want Wicked to be here, ideally already at this point. But he had to do that Raptor camp as well. He's going to join in time, push it in. So standard lane swap so far from both teams. No real surprise.
Indeed. Further battle again picked up by Rudy. He's definitely going to go for Devourer. Last time he picked it, went really well in the early game. Just like picked up.
It went too well. I mean, you can't even ask for that.
He just got like everything, and now the Mark of the Kindred is on that Scuttler in the bot side, so maybe he can pick it up. We're just seeing these turrets being exchanged, and they should be dropping at fairly the same time. So yeah, you can't really predict the game plan to the early game Rudy. You just pick up like 5 kills, and then
then we just do the same, right?
Yeah.
Annoying Rift Scuttler for him because it's on bottom side in the lane swap, so it doesn't belong to him. And we also see Ku is gonna clear it out. Towers for top laners, getting the full amount of gold. Instant. timing here. Fantastic, beautiful. Everyone is following each other. Wicked is just instantly going to try and push it out to see what he can get now that he doesn't have much time to farm. And that actually means once you do that, the enemy team can swap around and send AD carry on top. Oh!
Good stuff.
Wow, Kajal has to flash
dying.
away, and Rudy's going to come in here. And I said you can't just plan on the early game and say, Rudy, pick up kills, but he just got it in the mid lane and cashed in another stack.
The E was too late from Kadril. Couldn't get the other part of the claw out and had to flash. Still died.
Yeah, I think he just got snared in the moment as well when he was going to activate it, but what's going to happen now, because Wicked pushed the bottom side, just go back to the swap itself, is that because he instant pushes, Huma had enough time to actually send the AD carry support back to top side and just Tronful recalls, and he goes bot lane. Because he now gets a big wave pushing towards him. Wicked will have to surrender most of that wave, because it's obviously he's overextending now. If he has to push this all the way out alone, he's going to overextend. So that's why Rudy's on bottom side instantly, forcing Wicked away. Meaning Willip now gets a great chance to freeze a big wave here.
And you can see the difference from that middle lane trade in itemization now. Second Doran's ring picked up for Kadril. Got himself a refillable potion as well and a pink ward. Problem is the other side, it's blasting one for this LeBlanc. A fair amount of damage now coming from that extra assist. Got boots as well. So it's going to be able to output quite a bit now onto Kadril.
Yeah, we will see Gabriel go for Abyssal Scepter in the first in this matchup. Almost in any mid lane matchup against an AP champ, you just go Abyssal. It's just the best item, really. As a first item, it's such a too strong item, honestly.
If you don't go for it, then you lose.
Oh, that's painful.
Yeah. It's actually not too bad. He's picking up most of these minions, where I saw Kadril CSing on the tower, and it was definitely some NA CSing, because he shot out like the E to last hit a minion, and then missed it.
Firing shot.
I know.
Yeah.
Not even here to respond or anything.
I know.
Either that or it's a plug
the
for
best
the
type
North
of
American
shot.
Challenger Series.
Which will be coming up now.
Yeah, that was the intent.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Nailed it. Anyway, Willip is pushing down the bot lane. He's actually slightly ahead in terms of CS, but that's just because he's got this gigantic minion wave ready to be thrown into Wicked.
It helps.
Rudy is there in the bottom side, so maybe they can punish him when he goes for that juicy minion wave.
Well, he's also here for potential counter game because Willip wants to push this all the way into tower.
Yeah.
So that Wicked will most likely lose some of it, but also will start faster bouncing back towards Willip, and it's all that matters for him is just maximizing farm. So Rudy is just here in case Ku shows up, and he is sitting over the wall. So it is the correct decision by Rudy being here, just making sure Willip is fine, push it in.
Yeah.
Both junglers are doing exactly the same.
Rudy gives the game away though. It's like, I'm just gonna sneak this thing over your head. Hope you don't realize, like the bat signal. Just
I hope he doesn't look up.
It's actually just a bait. Rudy's the other side of the map.
Yeah.
And he's just baiting, so he's like, if you put it on Wicked.
Wicked spotted it.
Oh wow!
Didn't have to flash at
No,
all.
it was off to the side of the pillar, not the front part.
Yeah.
Spooked by the kindreds.
I wonder
Ah.
if he was just like, oh, I need to stay healthy no matter what, but definitely not needed to flash a panic play
He's got the vitamin C
from
for
Wicked. But he didn't eat the orange.
that. No.
No, he flashed.
Doesn't give anything.
Nope. Just a long cooldown. Cass from the top lane. He's gonna get hit with a Howling Gale. A Cowling Gale.
Cowling
Yeah, he's getting ready to pick up that cowl. Yeah, Rudy, he's again having a good early game, and I don't know if it's because of the Kindred pick or just the fact that he's just happening to pick up these kills because he's being more aggressive. I don't know.
I mean, it's a good gank in mid lane, right? But also a bit of disrespect from Kadril not seeing
Sure.
the gank and then flashing instantly out. But it's the same play bottom side, though, from Rudy. It's just apply pressure on Wicked because he is already behind and because the wave... Every time the wave is there, they want to contest it. So he can't farm all of it safely on his Gangplank. He's sitting really far behind, and Gangplank is still at the point where you need like 2 or 3 items to really have that great of an impact. Other than just your ulti, which is now the main thing for you here in the early to mid game.
Yeah, and this is such a different play style in the second phase of a lane swap to what we've become used to seeing. It normally is just that hands off, you take our turret, we'll take yours, we'll swap, and then, you know, we'll try and figure out how we take mid in a little bit. But this is straight up, well, we're just going to go 2v2 top with our bottom lanes, and then we're going to try and force Wicked to lose CS, but it's getting a small lead for Willip, but that's about it.
But it all starts with, again, Wicked killing tower at the same time as Huma, and he goes, oh, I'm going to instant push it. I want to just try and maximize farm. If they send the dual lane here, it's great for me because I got to get a few extra CS. I delayed them as well because they have to push further now in the lane.
Yeah.
But because Huma saw it so early, they just swapped the lanes around. And then with Rudy being on bottom side, it allowed Whirlip to then take the entire wave, force Wicked off, who would then be slightly ahead in experience normally. Just force him off the tower with Rudy, or off the wave, and push it back in, and therefore get a CS lead. It is still going to be evened out slightly now, but that's because Wicked now has built up a massive wave that Whirlip will pick up.
We're getting all this time in the early game where not a lot is happening, just a lot of trading, a lot of farming happening. So the call has been picked up by Holy Phoenix, so he'll be getting towards that. Only 42 stacks left on it, so with him already being ahead of Pinoy in terms of CS, he'll be getting even further ahead. He hasn't really even picked up like any big components yet, just a longsword versus the recurve bow from Pinoy. We'll look towards the early Hurricane. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Kajol did go for the Rod of Ages rush, which it looks like. Bot lane, Wicked's going to have to pop the ultimate. Whirlip is still chasing after him, and this is not looking good for Gangplank. He literally just flashes and chomps him to death.
Well, this is what happens when you waste your flash completely before.
Yeah.
And then you have to push out the lane, and he just goes all in, pops a pillar in your face, and you can't run away.
And I swear, did Wicked mess up his parlay on the barrel there? Was trying to parlay the barrel to get the movement speed
like it.
bonus. I think he parlayed too early. Early ranks on barrels tick down very slowly. And he's only level 6 now, so he only has a couple of points in that E.
Yeah, and you know, we said in Champion Select, or you said to Fisher, that Gangplank's like, you have to be really good at that champion.
We are pulsing the guys.
We are pulsing the guys.
That is true.
You've got to be really good at that champion to execute it and make it work. And when you're making mechanical mishaps like that, where you're just hitting a barrel too soon in the early game and not chaining correctly and just burning a flash and making poor decisions, then the pick really doesn't pay off.
No. I mean, it's a difficult champion for a reason, right? Is the trade-offs have to be, like, he's been super strong and is finally at a point where it's like, if you're not super good on GP, probably shouldn't even pick it, realistically, because he has weaknesses that are fairly easy to exploit if you aren't able to actually get those kind of plays off. And whether that was just a mistiming by Wicked, by the looks of it, or just not being 100% comfortable. I mean, the analyst desk talked at the beginning of the day. Wicked, you know, he's been very good on this Poppy and typically has had a couple of champions that he's been very strong on, but outside of that, he hasn't been known for his depth of champion pool.
Yeah. I mean, that's just been Wicked for seasons and seasons. And still is similar in this game, so he is behind on farm.
He still had some good games though before this.
Yeah, he did.
When he got to play Nautilus
and
the Fiora game as well.
Fiora game
really
was
good.
Definitely turned up versus the other Fiora performances as well. So.
But it is why it was interesting with the pick and ban phase, and why I guess Huma was fine first pick and Trundle.
Yeah.
And like, we're not afraid of Kalista from Pinoy, and we're also not really afraid of what Wicked could pick into this Trundle. So they kind of got mass amount of effect out of just in one first pick. Kadril is again taking a lot of damage in these trades.
Lens traded for the ultimate.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kadril is losing out on these trades.
I think it's also too risky of Kadril to rush Rod of Ages here instead of going Abyssal himself and match it item for item. You can if you want Rod of Ages so badly, you can technically go for it as a second item. It is not the greatest, but Abyssal first just has so much value, and go like Abyssal into either Hourglass or Morello Nomicon if you need the cooldown reduction.
Yeah.
Is still such a great build. Gabriel's probably going to go Morello now and just max out on CDR and have a great mid game coming for him.
Cajewell never really picks up items that allows him to straight up win his lane here. Godbro's going to just flatten him though.
Well, he should have.
Yeah, he should have
Styles
done.
on it.
Otherwise, yeah, Godbro literally will just run all over you. Toss it out the lap as
I mean,
well.
and again, you now lost 2 games in a row. You went from basically winning game 3 to making a ton of mistakes into losing it, into losing game 4.
Yeah.
You're now down 3-0. Your lanes, your 1v1 top lane, losing. Your AD carry matchup, losing right now. Your mid lane matchup, losing. It is so tough for a team to now focus. Like, a lot of them are just going like, oh, wow, I mean, everything is just terrible now.
Yeah.
Every call is almost like a panic call at this point.
Everything is not awesome.
No, and that was just Godbro knowing even though his cleanse was down, so was Kadril's ult. So it's just like, okay, well, I've got the strength here because you're stuck on Catalyst and I have Abyssal. The Blasting Wand was there for Kadril, but
Yeah.
like, Kadril's just not at a point where he can take that fight, and Godbro's exploiting it every single time he's in lane against him.
You know, what is your mindset in this situation where you're like 2 wins and you're just looking for that easy sweep and you're actually getting reverse swept? You're getting Cloud9 in this series. Like, it looks like Copenhagen Wolves are actually just falling apart.
Completely. I mean, took some chances in this pick and ban phase. Also the Janna pick, I think. offers very little because you know Huma is going to play split push with Trundle, and I just don't know why Jen is here. But obviously, again, we look at this team, and it's more than a pick and ban phase now because it's also just the players suddenly not performing as well as they did in the first few games. And we can look at item builds. I think Rod of Ages Rush is super greedy. Instead of just going Abyssal against the LeBlanc matchup, but...
Well, Q will rotate into the mid lane and start picking up this mini wave that's pushed in. Holy Finks and Cats even rotate up there. The top lane turret is gone, so that's going to be Godbro pushing up as well because he wins in the 1v1. And with all these lanes winning, Huma are now trying to crack some more turrets and start expanding on those advantages. The mid lane turret is obviously the obvious one because top lane and bottom tower have already gone down, so put the duo lane there, try and push that in.
And now we need to see if Huma is going to make a mistake or not. They have the 1-3-1 setup, which we like to see with the LeBlanc on top side here. It gives an opening for Wolves because they have teleport, but it only happens if Huma keeps pushing on 2 lanes when Gabro is backing off.
Yeah.
If he can keep the pressure going top, there's not really a risk of K-Drill TPing without Copenhagen Wolves losing something because they can just lose a top tower for it then. If he ever has the chance to push it back, rest of Huma has to go back as well, otherwise there's going to be a TP play from Wolves and a 5v4. And that's the way back in the game for this Copenhagen Wolves lineup.
Oh, man, they are just continuing to put K-Drill in an awful spot. He is just unable to do anything against Godbro. And to that point, the same is kind of happening for Wicked. Wicked has to just kind of absorb a wave when it's available to and then back away. He's not at a point where his barrels will clear the wave yet. Still needs a Trinity Force for that to be a factor. So he just
and
kind of... And a crit, yeah. So he just steps up, is like, is the Trundle here? No, okay, I get the wave. Otherwise, I have to concede it.
Yeah, and in that top lane, like, split push Godbro without even TP as well. Like, you can't send Ku up there because mid lane's being pressured in. K-Draw is just losing one-on-one straight up. Bot lane's now being pushed in by Rudy. Whirlib is just actually farming the jungle. Like, now K-Draw going back to base, going back up to top, is able to clear out the minion wave. But they're losing still. Like, that was a lot of chip damage onto the tower while he was rotating Ku into top lane. But it's LeBlanc. She's got double dash from Mimic.
And if you're Huma now, whichever lane Gabro is in, play around it. Keep pushing your 1-3-1, but the jungle next to Gabro is the one you want to ward up because he's the man with kill pressure. Trundle into GP, GP's just sitting at tower. So keep playing around the lane also because then you attack where the enemy global is and you don't have one because Trundle can always join from the opposite side. And that's the setup once they've reset the entire map now because they've gotten enough gold, 1500 for Gabro. Recall, reset, go back to pushing out every single lane, play around Gabro with jungle support. Have Holy Phoenix's wave clear mid, and you should be able to just push Copenhagen Wolves so far back on the map that having double TP loses its value.
Yeah.
And this double TP, again, for K-Drill, he's in so much trouble here in this top lane. You mentioned double dash. I mean, right now, K-Drill's playing on 150cc Rainbow Road and trying not to fall off the edge because this is a big gap opening up for Godbro. His cleanse is back up again, so he can trade that with K-Drill and look to re-engage once again. So, man, Godbro, he's backing away, hasn't backed in a while, so should be able to pick up a lot here. Looks like Nomica. There it is. Gets himself a pink ward for safety. And again, everything is just getting closer and closer to Godbro just being able to basically one-shot K-Drill.
Yep, just send him back to top lane now.
He's gone.
And keep playing, or you swap the lanes around, you put Trundle top if you want to contest for this dragon here to get the second dragon and get them rolling as well. But then Trundle should already have recalled and gone top side.
Someone should be top.
At this point. Someone has to be top at this moment here. And ideally it's a TP because you want to fight dragon. Or you fight mid.
Or you fight mid with the engage from Cass. Knocks Rudy into the tower. He'll have to flash away. Pops the land's respite, but he should be going down. K-Drill pops the ultimate there and is able to finish him off finally. Ooh. Cass will jump to Holy Things. Has to flash over the wall. Panoy is coming in with the chase and gets the passive. Jumps down. Holy Things will also have to flash away, but Ku's going to follow after. He has to slow down with the barrel roll. Does he have a way to get over here? Has the dash. Has another flash by Nusalot. Nusalot, you're not Alistair, you're Janna. Whirlib isn't able to pin him against the wall, but Godbro will come in and take him out. Now Whirlib is coming in here to try and finish off Ku, and Holy Things is able to finish him off with a nice Q coming out. K-Drill is able to jump after, and Godbro is picking up so many exit kills. Panoy is now chasing him down, gets the Ren down. Whirlib puts out a defensive pillar. That was an incredibly messy fight.
Super messy fight, and both teams should have backed away at different points after getting the lead in that fight. So Sun Nuxalat had a beautiful Monsoon to save the rest of his team, and then goes and spoils it all by saying something stupid like, I'll flash over a wall and try and go 1v2. Because watch for the monsoon that's coming up. It's as the fight goes down into the river. This is Rudy forced out to use his ult and then forced to retreat past the ult as well. So watch for the monsoon as Godbro comes in. It's going to hit 3 people if that distortion lands. Beastly monsoon. And at this point, Wolves have won this fight. This is done deal. Just go mid, look for objectives. You don't need to kill Holy Phoenix. He has this dash to get out. I don't even know what this is.
I'm not sure if he thought the Q from Lissandra hit Holy Phoenix and he would just need like 1 hit to die.
Yeah, maybe.
But like even then, it's not a good play to make. It's too risky. Ends up giving some kills over to Huma in the end. It was just about, you know, to look at this and being like, why are you even fighting if you are Huma here? Like, you have the sickest 1v1 where you have a LeBlanc who can literally destroy anyone in the 1v1. By you opting mid, you give Copenhagen Wolves the chance.
Yeah. But then Copenhagen Wolves go deep on you, and then
luckily for Huma,
so.
Luckily for Huma, Wolves did and ended up giving back a few kills.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for bloodthirsty supports, man, but flashing over the wall into an ADC, maybe not the most optimal play.
Instant Huma is back 1-3-1ing though.
Yeah.
They're like, all right. That was not the correct play.
Nope, never mind. Let's engage. Let's go in. Doesn't connect onto anyone. That's the ultimate in from Ku. He gets the lockdown onto Rudy. Rudy does have ultimate. He's going to have to pop it, but I think he's dead regardless here. There isn't enough pressure being put out by the rest of Huma's team. This is going to be TP. Wicked going into the top lane. No one's
Why?
It's the same again. I mean, okay.
they get
why though?
Hang on. It's the same thing. Is Huma making weird decisions, but then Willib is like, okay, well, I'm gonna do this.
He's gonna bite him. Bite him in the butt.
Chomp.
I turned around.
Yeah. Willib's taking a lot of damage from this tower, and that's Kato going to lock him down. So that's a 1-for-1.
But now mid tower is taking damage though. So like,
Yeah.
even if Huma taking another of these fights where we're like, this is super risky, and you're actually playing into Copenhagen Wolves' way of winning the game or getting back in the game where they were so far down in the early game, because Huma was still really far ahead. They had already Whirlip on top side to push in for that tower, got mid tower as well. So in the end, they technically win out. It just becomes very messy instead of being like clean. The way they were playing before, you know, say that 1-3-1, Godbro could 1v1 top side, super easy. You would swap them around, put him on bottom side, play around him, and like you would just almost perfect game it from there on and out.
Yeah.
You shouldn't really lose anything. It becomes these big fights, which we know Copenhagen Wolves are looking for.
And then Whirlip's like, okay, well, you lose Rudy over there. I'll just get a tower, but then he goes and chases. I feel he actually could have got top tower. I think it was like a 1-hit. Did he actually get it in the end?
He smacked it down.
Okay, he did smack it down. Okay, so he even got that.
That's why it actually, in the end, was a good play.
Yes, well, that's what the overarching point that I'm trying to say, regardless of whether the tower goes or not, is it's just Whirlip making these solo plays where it's just like, well, I've got to save this part of this game, so I'm going to go and do this.
There's some dank crits coming out from Wicked. He'll be backing away here. And yeah, back to that mid lane. There's the Abyssal Scepter, now picked up by Kajor. He went for that second item.
Unlucky though, your laning phase is over, so the damage has already been
Should
done.
have Zhonya's now.
From it, like the damage is already done.
Can never please you.
No. The disapproving father.
I mean, you can decide as your first item.
Yeah.
It's like the best first item in the game for almost any mage.
Saved his pocket money and used it on something useful. All he's done is buy Pokemon cards. I can't believe you.
Bought the wrong stick.
And bought the Rod of Ages. What are you doing?
They kind of look alike. You know, you're looking there.
Okay. Well,
Just blinded by the stage light.
yeah. I'm sorry. All right, Ku gonna be clearing out this ward here.
Oh,
he
yeah,
actually
Panther's
cancelled the
all
auto attack. Yeah. Whirlip is trying to stop him. Here comes the Fate's Call. That's gonna be exchanged for a flash there from Whirlip.
Subjugate into flashing away.
Yeah.
It's my favorite play.
Very well. Yeah. Whirlip now pushing up the middle lane. It's always Godbro in the jungle looking for a snipe to happen, just in case someone goes to the wrong part of the map, the wrong neighborhood.
Is that where Pulse and the gang?
It is, yeah. They're ready to
Street corner.
Yeah, they're waiting for you with Godbro.
Okay.
Coming out of that LeBlanc burst. Be aware.
Is Gabriel running around in a dress as well? with
Yeah,
his staff?
maybe. Yeah,
I was
he's got the
wondering where you
Abyssal
were
Scepter.
going on that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
he's running around. He's gonna beat you up with the Abyssal Scepter. Scary.
it's like, what kind of gang are Pulse and the guys after?
He's got like a buck. He's got an Abyssal Scepter. Anyway, Rudy's picked up more Malmortius, so is going to be not getting bursted by Kajor. I do feel like it's going to be happening like a lot though.
Yeah, we have seen Rudy kind of jumping in a whole lot.
Yeah, but then would you go like Sterex over more?
No,
No,
I
no.
think more's fine.
Definitely go more.
Yeah. It like the shield passive active when it procs is so good for a champion like Kindred who's constantly doing damage, always in team fights.
For the lifesteal.
Yeah, the life steal. Plus when you're in your because theoretically it procs when you're in your ultimate.
That was just
So you manage to just like get all of the health back. And just it's like, oh great. And synergizes so well.
I see.
Yeah. Theoretically.
Godbro. He was looking for that snipe onto Pinoy.
Again, Huma is looking at this Baron. They don't have to. You can just continue playing side lanes. You have your TP ready, and
Honestly, I hope they don't go for Baron. That's what's been throwing a lot of these games.
because like at this point, the enemy LeBlanc is 3, 1, and 2. Copenhagen Wolves should never be able to have 3 pink wards in their own jungle. Like those should have been killed already. And this jungle should basically belong to Huma. But they are allowing Wolves again to play around and actually farm their own jungle, farm the side lanes, giving them a little bit of time. They're still 5k gold ahead, and they've had some very good moves in the early game. We just had to question some of their team fighting decisions when they didn't have to. And that's the worst part, right? It's not like you're gonna lose the game from this. It is just more optimal to do the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when you face, you know, if they manage to qualify into the LCS and even in the promotion tournament, like you gotta have that optimal game plan ready and not always just say like, oh, we could fight it because we're really far ahead and there's a chance we win the fight, but it's also a chance that you actually give the other team a win condition instead of them being like, we can't stop side lanes, we can't stop you from invading, we basically don't really have a way of winning now other than you messing up.
I feel like in the promotion tournament, you could have some very similar games to from what we've seen.
Oh, for
today.
sure.
Yeah, I think similar, but I don't want to go too far on giving more credit perhaps to the bottom 4 LCS teams than we've seen. I feel like the phase 1, phase 2 of the lane swap, even from some of the worst teams, has been better than we've seen here. And I think on a strategy level on the early game should be fairly clean for the LCS teams, but it by no means is perfect from either of them.
Sure. Well, Rudy has found Cajal, made the other way around. He's going to be going into Lifeline passive. There's Rudy going down. Cass as well also gets exploded. Nuxalon is going to be jumping forwards aggressively and gets the Monsoon. The triple kill coming out for Pinoy.
All right, let me just take back the part where I said sometimes making the suboptimal play is okay because you can still gain something and not lose the game on it. Other times when you keep doing it again and again and again, when you again should be split pushing, focusing on push-up lanes, get deep vision, deny vision, and then split push, it will in the end lose you the entire game because this is another team fight being taken with a 1-3-1 composition where Copenhagen Wolves comp is built around team fighting.
And you mentioned vision. There was some vision there for the Wolves to know that they could take that fight.
I mean, that's the problem, right? There should never been any vision in there instead of like a blue finger being popped. And that's it. But Copenhagen Wolves are suddenly back in this game. And now maybe they lose the game.
Found Nukes a lot. Is going to be eating up that Janna. And now Ku will just have to jump out of there. Godbro is looking for an assassination attempt onto Ku. Does get the snare down. That'll be the flash defensively. Cajal comes out of the ultimate, instantly cleansed away. Cass jumps to him.
Rudy was taking
a bit of
Baron.
resistances. Rudy is just assassinated by Wicked. He just bops him with Parlay, and he goes down.
Did he
Godbro
jump
as well
towards
takes
it and
another
just hit?
Parlay. Winter's Bite will slow them down. Cajal looking to follow up. The ice shot does not connect. Holy Phoenix looking to put some return damage down. Whirlup is going to be chasing the team out.
I don't know whether this is a good fight.
I think Huma are opting out. Yeah, they're leaving.
What? Don't start this. Okay, good. What aggroed the Baron is what I want to know. We definitely didn't see it on our screen, so it must have been something off at the side. I hope it wasn't Rudy actually starting that.
Maybe Dance of Arrows, like trying to jump over.
Yeah, maybe
wall or
he was trying to
something.
get there quickly.
Yeah.
I'm kind of confused at how Rudy appeared to that fight after coming from base on literally 0 health. So this was Nuxalot and Whirlip just trading off. I mean, this is the problems with Janna, is if you get caught by something like a trundle, you're going to die. So still, it was the Gragas Q. Yeah, Gragas Q aggros.
All planned by Ku.
Yeah.
You're going to pass through here, jump the wall.
So much damage.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's Squishy Kindred.
It's a Devour Kindred.
Yeah. Well, that's why you didn't have your DPSs tanking up the raid boss. Does that happen?
Stop dots.
Yeah. Well, Copenhagen Wolves now. Did they start? No, okay. They're hitting a pink ward. That's fine.
There were 2 pings being placed by Huma, so it took a little bit longer for Ku to clear it out. But for Wolves still, you've gotten your deep vision one more time. Their split push has basically been eliminated. Even though Huma didn't have to, but it has been now because of these fights been happening. You got engaged options with Lissandra coming in and Gragas, of course. So Copenhagen Wolves, despite being so far down early, is now, I would almost say dead even, just because when it comes to team fights, yes, you're down in gold slightly, but your comp is then superior. So it is a super even game. We are still at the point, though, where Garbro can one-shot almost anyone.
Yeah.
So if Wolves are feeling too confident and like, oh, let's step forward with with Lissandra, pop, one shot, you're dead.
That's definitely possible. We've seen it happen before already. But, you know, a lot of why Wolves have been able to take a lot of these team fights has just been the damage that Pinoy's had to output. 6-0-2, we talked about his Kalista. Like, how effective would it be? It's been a good few games since we've seen it. Turns out, it seemed to be the right pick for Pinoy in this game. Yeah, maybe it's results-based rather than, you know, actual setup-based. But certainly Pinoy's not struggled on the champion.
Sure.
Still got to be careful of Godbro.
Yeah. Holy Phoenix isn't like out of this game. He's still sitting on triple item. Like he's doing fine. Still able to output a lot of damage, but he has to get through like Gragas and like Cajal as well, just popping his ultimate on himself, that type of thing. Like it's difficult for him to get the damage down. Actually, Cajal's sitting in base. He's got TP, so he's looking for a flank to happen. But with Huma, a lot of members looking to recall here. It might be difficult to make that happen. Is that a TP? No, it's not a recall.
Just a recall. It's basically just a fight for Baron vision at this point. So every member is like, oh, we need more pings coming in. you start selling your Doran's rings and
you know what they need?
Divisio. It's not going to matter in the end.
No,
because one team's going to start Baron, and then the other team's going to come in.
It will still set up a better fight. Like Copenhagen Wolves' flanking options with Cajal is going to be pretty important. There's no QSS yet for Holy Phoenix, so he's an easy target. Godbro does have cleanse, yes.
Didn't get that.
He'll go over again.
Yeah, and then get caught.
Up. Hey.
I've lost a lot of faith in the ability to set up a safe Baron from this series, from these two teams.
Yeah, the faith is pretty low right now.
To be fair, a lot of teams around the world are still struggling with that.
That is true.
There's a specific region known basically for messing up a lot around Barons.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. You wanna put a name to that?
2 letters. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
So like now we have like the people who hate EU would be like, oh, it's Europe, yeah, it's EU.
Yeah.
And the other one would be like, oh, it's gonna be NA, it's gonna be NA.
You could have easily scapegoated with like our friends maybe over in like OPL, something like that, being like, prove me wrong.
Across the world, even like when you watch LPL, which is, you know, a guilty pleasure, sitting and watching that sometimes.
I was going to say OPL.
Yeah, but OPL, it doesn't matter.
Watch it for the picks,
You're going to get the same Baron fights in both regions, to be fair.
I just imagine like Spawn, Rusty, Frostgear, and all that, like, oh, they're talking bad about our regions.
They'll do the same on there.
To be fair, we see it in the EULs here so often as well.
Yes.
Like, oh, we got a 10k gold ahead. Oh, we just completely got destroyed by Baron and we lost the game. Like, great. So it is something a lot of teams are struggling with.
Yeah, flashbacks to G2 Fnatic.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We see it everywhere,
Trigger warning
across the world.
on the EU broadcast here.
Baron is just, you know, he's just a bully.
He really is. Baron's having a great time in this series. Like, usually Baron's just picked up, like, you know, it's very, very easy, but a lot of the time, like, he's not even dead. Like, he's just sitting there, spitting acid at people.
Hard chilling.
Just having a good time.
So, in this game, what was a 1-3-1 setup has deteriorated from Huma quite spectacularly into running around mid, trying to at least have vision, and then being in the enemy jungle.
And Werlip just getting CC to high heaven. He'll jump over the wall, and the Sterix will keep him alive. Actually, gets most of his health back. Cajal will jump in, look for that ultimate, pops it on himself. Godbro will be evaporating. His clone goes down. Cass has already dropped. Nuxalot will disengage for Huma. And Werlip does get locked down though. There's the E coming out from Cajal. Lamb's Respite will start keeping people alive, and actually a lot of damage now going on to the Copenhagen Wolves. But actually Huma turn around and lose multiple members. 4 people go down. 33 minutes into this game. Those are long death timers, and Copenhagen Wolves should be able to pick up the Baron. Godbro looking for this, doesn't land the chains, and Cajal will get out with his life. Now that Baron is being taken down, Godbro doesn't have any more firepower.
No, he's too low to really do anything. No mana either. So Baron for Copenhagen Wolves, and we just hit that point where the fantastic early game from Huma, it doesn't matter anymore because it's just straight into team fights, the split pushing without the TP doesn't really work for Huma. They haven't shown they know how to set it up properly. And now Copenhagen Wolves just get to use their comp and get these engages every time. Look at Cadril. I like it when he plays the Sancho because like he has so much impact in his fight going in and zoning for the team. And it makes it so much easier for Pinoy to just get enough Ren stacks. I even think actually he uses his Ren here doing the Kindred ulti like right there.
Yep.
A little bit too early, but picks up the kills anyway.
Yeah, great from Wicked.
Picks up the kills, was trying to just hedge his bets and get it during the last second or so. Or after, the first second after, you know what I mean. What's Willib doing?
What do you mean? I don't know.
What do I mean?
Can you elaborate?
You've been listening to a lot of Bieber recently, Martin. I know it's down your alley. Willib right there, I don't know why he was pushing
To
up.
be fair, some of his new songs are decent.
Oh.
Keep going.
Okay, Cadril looking for this engage. Wicked is on the front lines, and Ku is trying to find a good ultimate to get someone into his team, but actually going to be backing away.
This is how you know you create excitement around your Twitter, because now a lot of people are like, what are you talking about? A lot of people are like, oh, you know, he's right. He's right.
Oh dear.
He's changed. He's gotten old.
So yeah, push in the bottom lane here by Copenhagen Wolves should be easily able to take down this turret. It's just satisfying watching Gangplank just kill someone late game with Parlay. It's like pop up, got him.
Pop up, got him, parlay. Yeah, nice. One thing's for sure, you certainly love yourself on Twitter.
Why is that?
Sorry, I'm just still dropping references, it's fine. I'm actually agreeing with Deficio. Oh, Rudy has
Big crits onto Rudy, Death's daughter. He's just going to have to pop the ultimate to stay alive. The tower's being chunked down by the two carries, and this is just being shoved in so hard. They're getting so much from this Baron. Copenhagen Wolves take this bottom in here and actually carry on pushing. Is this a good play?
No. Why are they going to run away?
Just run. They're not committed to running.
Cass will pop the ultimate real quick, and Kajor uses his own ultimate, will zone away the front line and the back line. Gobro looking for someone to assassinate. Fate's Call will save the support. He jumps in. Monsoon slams them against the wall. There's an E coming out. Werlib will be backing off to his base and the spawn fountain. But yeah, now Copenhagen Wolves will back off. This could be a big punish in from Huma. That's going to be E by Cadril. Werlib is trying to corral them into his team, but he really can't stand there for too long. Ooh. Oh, that's a big snipe from Godbro. Now they can move on to Wicked as well. He will be another casualty. Pinoy is trying to juke away, but the slow coming in from the pillar is just too strong from Werlib. Has to shut down for Holy Phoenix, and Nukeslot does manage to recall out of the battle. There is nothing on the board in terms of Baron or Dragon for them to take, but they can push hard down the mid lane.
Yeah, and a lot of gold picked up here for this team. Might even be able to break in and get an inhib down. All because Copenhagen Wolves wanted to stay after taking that inhib. Producer ran away, said, we get everything, boys. We're winning. Stronger team fight and everything. They stay, overchase for a few kills. Inhib is going to go down from this.
I don't think they can push further. 30 seconds on respawn timers, and Gragas is available, has Runic Echoes, so should be able to clear
they might
this
try
out.
and finish.
Oh, wow. 20 seconds
is
left.
coming up, though, so they can buy time. I feel like Wolves can buy enough time here.
He's got to ult. He has to ult, like, right now.
It's
the
not
first
up
Nexus
yet.
turret is going down. It's only coming up in a couple seconds. There's the ultimate, but the second Nexus turret is going out. Cajal and Wicked are coming up in 5 seconds, and Huma, with the counter push, managed to secure the Nexus, and they are the spring split champions here in Challenger.
What happened in the end of that game?
I don't know. I lost the ability to speak, and Huma. That was.
I mean, all you had to do was
ending to
take
that game.
inhib and not think that you could go for the Nexus turret in a 5v5 and just run back. And then the long death timers here for Huma was like, oh, all the carries are dead? Let's just rush straight up mid. I can't believe, like, first of all, I can't believe that Huma even fell behind in this game after being so far ahead.
Yeah.
And then Copenhagen Wolves were like, we're winning this game, boys. And then Huma was like, nah, you know what?
That's.
I honestly have no clue what just happened.
That was really a bizarre last 2 minutes to that game. It took me by surprise. I think it took everyone by surprise. I mean, it took Huma by surprise because it was like, oh, we won. Cool. We'll take it.
But I mean, Huma played well in game 3, game 4. Coming back, even actually had a good game 2 in here.
Yeah. Especially game 4.
And they had such a good start to this game. And then ended up surprising all of us in the end.
Yeah.
And now they are the first seed from Challenger Series coming into the promotion tournament.
Yeah.
Just one win, one best of 5 away from the LCS now. This is such a good position for Huma to be in, but something about them in 5-game sets, like they come in with the reverse sweep here. And Copenhagen Wolves, I mean, you've got to feel real bad after a series like that where it's
No, I think you're feeling great. You're
in
like,
your hands.
No, you're feeling
after
awful, man.
third game and the final game, like on the cusp of victory.
Yeah, I mean, this is the worst feeling ever for them, for sure.
I mean, that game was won. That game was like 100% won for them. All you have to do, back off, reset yourself. You've got an inhib down. You can get the rest of the remaining turrets. You've got a super strong Kalista. Pinoy was like 10-0 before that fight.
Yep.
And like, there's realistically nothing that should be able to kill him, but then Willib comes in with a TP, gets the right setup, slows them down, and Huma win.
I mean, well played, Huma, in the end.
Sure.
Well, honestly, on this Trundle had fantastic impact in this series. If I'm looking at one member from this lineup that I would really say stood out, Whirlip would be the one for me. Guardbro as well in some of the games, especially the last one here on LeBlanc. Great start for him. Won the laning phase in basically every game. So definitely some good individual games from Huma. And we also got to see them, especially in Game 4, show what they can do once they got the leads and they got rolling. So it would be very exciting to see what they can do now, and of course what Copenhagen Wolves can do against the bottom LCS teams.
It also highlighted just like the playstyle from Huma as well, because they won in full Huma fashion. It was just like, you know, win the lanes, rely on these hard carries that we're speaking about like through the entire split, always just rely on just people turning up. And, you know, Trevor was saying at the start of the day, usually like one person turns up and they funnel the resources into them. I feel like pretty much everyone on this team did something today that really just like carried a game or carried a lane and like allowed them to come back into it. But yeah, I mean, that was an absurd series.
Yeah, I mean, we were just kind of shocked still.
Yeah.
That happened, really, that whole the entire game. It's like, oh, well, Huma's going to win now. Like 1-3-1, awesome, they're going to win.
Yeah.
Nope, team fight.
Yeah.
Lose.
Like,
win.
just really weird, uncharacteristic things. It's like going into jungle unwarded from Willib, just like, oh, well, I'm just going to be here and then get caught. And that gave Copenhagen Wolves so much breathing room, so much room to just close out that game. And it's just, again, just mistakes at the end.
But now, for both these teams, you just played full 5 games. Obviously, a lot of stuff to go back and rewatch.
Yeah.
And you have a little bit more than a week now, because the first promotion tournament match is next Thursday. So we have LCS now this Thursday here, and then next week is promotion tournament. And it's going to be like Copenhagen Wolves versus whoever is number 10. So right now it would be Giants in that BO5. So a lot of footage to go back and look at, but also for the LCS teams to look at. 5 full games, pick and ban. Not a lot is going to change probably in between. And you can now start looking at what are some of the issues they have we can punish. So
yeah, I mean, that's going to be my question. Like, how hard do you think the LCS teams can now just look at this and dissect, like, Huma and even Copenhagen Wolves now from what we've seen in these series? What are the main takeaways from an LCS team that you're going to punish?
I mean, outside of like champion pools and play styles, I honestly don't think that there's like too much of a way of breaking down play. Other than being like, well, you know, there's this gaping hole in late game strategic like play where it's like, oh, well, they've won the game, but they mess it up. I mean, it's not like Huma are playing one style or Wolves are playing one style and you can just undo that. They seem to shift styles mid-game and it costs them.
Well, that's everything from Pulse and the guys. We're going to send it over to the analyst desk to talk to the EUCS Spring Champions.
Definitely will. Thank you so much, Pulse, as we are joined here by the Challenger Champion Chisuikas, Holy Phoenix and Whirlip of Huma. There is your guys' trophy. And I see that I left my glasses there. That is also... Oh, no, I haven't. That's yours. I'm just confused. Sorry. I'm confused because this was a very, very long series, and it did look at some times that you guys were not going to make it. You were down 0-2. I don't know who wants to take it. Just tell me when you felt the tipping point and that you could actually take this series home, Whirlip.
Well, like for me, I think that it doesn't matter which team I am. It always goes like best of 5. I don't know, but we have a really nice attitude. And the last time, like the first game, we got stomped. Like literally stomped. It didn't matter. So right now, like we weren't even happy. Like we were saying, okay, like we started better than the last time. We just have to wait. Like I think that we are really good in best of 5. So we just have to fix this and just play as we do.
Yeah, it is the second time that you guys take it all the way to 5 games. We saw it in the semifinals as well. Holy Phoenix, how was the series for you? Did you feel like you could really make your mark and pull it in your way? Because it seemed like it was team play and strategy coming together only in that last game.
Yeah, like after we lose the first game, we said we can fix this, and we knew that we were going to win. We played really bad first game, but I think it was because we weren't used to playing. We were excited, made a lot of mistakes, and then when we get used to playing, we were playing really good. Last game as well, we make a lot of mistakes. I don't know why. We will talk about them. And after all, I think we won because we were just a better team.
For me, it boils down to you guys actually starting to split push a lot more, especially game 3 and 4. We know it's a joke, we're split push all the time, but it actually worked very well, in my opinion, against Wicked and some of his teleports. And the Trundle pick went up in value. Was that something who came up with that idea? Because I think the Trundle early pick in the 5th game and putting more priority in game 3 and 4 was actually super important for you guys.
I think the pick was more about we had in mind to pick Trundle, and then we played because it's good against tanks and that stuff, and it's a good pick right now. But we didn't have in mind it's gonna be that important pick in this series. But then we just realized we pick Trundle, we win. We don't pick Trundle, we lose. So we came to that conclusion.
Just because welcome back, by the way.
Yeah.
It also looked at you guys in the straight lane matchups and also the lane swaps definitely had the upper hand. How do you think you did there? Because you were up against a very intense duo as well.
I think we are individually better, even if I say that, so I think we want the 2-on-2, and I think we can always get an advantage from it.
Yeah, how did you live the rest of the series? Of course, you've been on the stage before, but did you feel the influence on being on the big stage and having the coach behind you maybe calling the shots at times?
A bit, but I really have to thank Inspire to give us experience in a best of 5, I think, because it helped us a lot getting through this one. After we lost the first game, we knew everything can happen, so we made the best of it.
You made the best of it, I would say so. Taking the first seed here in the promotion tournament. We are going to continue talking about that in just a second because I hear that we have the 2nd place Copenhagen Wolves ready as well. So let's head on stage where Pyrotechnics is standing by.
Thank you very much, Shox. I am joined by the top laner of Copenhagen Wolves, as well as a name you guys will, of course, know, Wicked. First off, rough series today, but you guys did have some solid early games and very, very close in the end there. But as somebody who's played a lot of long series, how do you bounce back from that and prepare for the promotion tournament next week?
So for this series in itself, I don't think it mattered too much. It wasn't about the series, and that's not we didn't lose because we were tilting or anything like this. But right now we play very inconsistent. So then we play our best. You saw the 2 first games, we do really well. It's very clean. But then we don't play good. It happens often for us. Then it's just a clown fiesta, like a lot of people are saying right now. And that's our problem right now. We need to improve our consistency. And if we do that, I'm still confident we can beat Giants, because we've been scrimming Giants, we've been scrimming a lot of teams. I think we scrimmed Huma, we were better than them on average, but as I said, we have very inconsistency, so it's hard to say who shows up, right? And it's the same with Giants. We've been scrimming Giants, we're better than them on average in the scrims we had at least. So it's all about if we show up or not.
Very true. Now, it's also a small possibility you might face off against Roccat as well, since it is the 10th place LCS team you'll be going up against, depending on how this next week plays out. Are you saying you'd rather face off against Giants because you're more confident against them?
So I don't mind too much whoever we faces because I'm confident against both of them. But the thing is, we have scrim Giants, we know we played them, and we know we are winning in scrims. So if we play Giants, we have that confidence boost because we actually played them, we actually beat them in most of our scrims. Whereas if we play Rocket, we never scrimmed Rocket, we haven't played a single game against them, and we have no idea what they play or what they bring. We can watch LCS, of course, what they play, but we don't know them as well as we know Giants.
Well, all right, that's a fair point. So then looking ahead, if you're confident that you can win that match and going forward, how confident are you that your team can, then go all the way through the tournament, make this LCS in the summer?
So now that we lost the game against, Huma, right? It's going to be a lot tougher because we don't face the 9th team anymore, which is going to be Rocket or Giants, as you said. We're going to face Elements or Splice, and they're 1 tier above. I think we can win that game, but we haven't played them, as I said, so I don't know exactly how good we are in comparison to them. But from watching LCS, I think if we show up, we can win it. But as I said, we're still inconsistent right now. We need to work on that.
Well, I definitely hope you show up. Good luck in those games next week. Wicked, thanks for taking the time to talk to me. For now, though, we're going to send it back to the analyst desk to break that one down further.
Who are these guys? Huma, right?
Huma, right? Yeah, the winners with their trophy and the first seed in the promotion tournament. So let's talk about it. Let's get the bracket up. This does mean with the system, you guys get the first seed. You'll be playing on Saturday in a best of 5 versus the number 9 team from the LCS, which will most likely be Roccat. Let's base
That's
this
what
off the
most people
assumption.
expected.
Yeah.
Obviously, things can still change. It's going to be Rocket. Have you guys scrimmed Rocket, watched Rocket? What do you think is the difference between you and Rocket right now? Kaz?
I think with Rocket's changes, like they bring in
They brought in Noxiak, yeah.
Noxiak and Smithy J. And who else?
No, Smithy Jason.
Smithy and Giants
Yeah.
now.
Oh, sorry,
they
sorry.
just
Yeah,
got
yeah.
a Noxiak and they got
Yeah, I
tabs a
think
while
Noxiak
ago.
is a real upgrade
Yeah.
for Extinct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Extinct was like bit out of the picture. And I think Noxiak is a really good player. And I look forward to play against him.
What are your guys' impressions of what you can do? Obviously, one best of 5 away from the LCS. Maybe 5 games again if you guys make it
Not
exciting.
again, please.
No, please.
Like for me personally, I don't think it's gonna happen, but I would like to play against Giants.
I mean,
for me, that is the most important.
it can happen. It can happen. If
possible.
Giants,
Like
if
if
Giants
you
beat
win-
Copenhagen Wolves and you guys lose, unfortunately, you guys could meet Giants for that final spot. Because obviously, once you get into that second stage of the bracket, there's double elimination, 4 teams, 3 of them get an LCS slot. Does that help you as well, Holy Phoenix, if you look at the bracket, that you can still lose a game and still make it in LCS? Or does that stress not really affect you?
Yeah, I think we get used to losing. So, like, even though we lose the first game, I think like we have a still chance to win because after those 2 best of 5s going horribly and then comebacking, we are comfortable losing, I would say it. And then, like, it doesn't matter. We don't tilt each other. We are like in the team as well. We are very friendly to each other. In the most times, we solve our problems easily and no like business. Like, it's a friendship in our team. So I think it's a good sign. Especially in the best of 5s, because you need to support each other. If someone is demoralized or feeling sad, the other people can say, "Hey, it will be okay, and we will play better in the next game." So, yeah.
That's a very good quality to have. Maybe finally, Holy Phoenix, obviously you're the only person in your lineup that hasn't played in the EU LCS yet. Of course, you're a legend over in the TCL. What would it mean to you to be able to make your mark and show what you've got in the EU LCS?
The reason I joined this team because I wanted to get ELCS. It's been like 2 years because I went to Worlds with Turkish team. I won 2 Turkish championships, so I was like, I'm okay with playing in Turkey. I accomplished everything I can, so I need to do something better. So when this team offered, I came. So if I get to ELCS, it will be really good for me, for my fans, and like I will feel like I'm a good player and I can do more, and it will motivate me better, and it will improve my gaming career, I think.
Yeah, I definitely look forward to that. If that happens, I feel like it must be the same for you, just because you had that short stint, of course, on the Copenhagen Wolves. How much you feel like you want to prove yourself still?
Yeah, I want to prove myself, definitely, because in the Copenhagen Wolves, I didn't always have the consistent games. I had a lot of deaths. I know, bad KDA.
I know how that feels, man. Don't worry about it.
So I'm going to come back. I will be back stronger.
All right. And we have one man here next to us that we still have to give another prize to, because when we look at today's matches overall, one player for us really stepped up in the climb to the LCS stage. Werlip here next to me racked up 12 kills and 33 assists across 5 games and is our series MVP. Congratulations, Werlip. Obviously, your split pushing decided a lot of these games and the pressure you could put down. What does it mean to you to be the MVP of the series?
Well, for me, it means a lot because when I stopping being part of Giants, like for me, it was like being here is everything. So doing a nice job here and being the MVP and playing nice games means that I'm not part of the bad job that is maybe doing them right now. I don't know, for me, this means a lot.
Well, definitely, and it's also one step closer for you guys to the LCS. And for both Huma and the Copenhagen Wolves, the race to the top is just beginning. The European Summer Promotion Tournament gets underway next Thursday, March 24th, when the Wolves face the 10th place LCS team, looking most likely to be the Giants, of course, and our coverage begins at 6 p.m. Central European Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, so mark your calendars. So that is it for the Challenger Finals. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations to Huma. And the book is closed on the 2016 Spring EU Challenger Series. It is time for us to sign off. From all of us here in Berlin, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you this Thursday for the final week of the European LCS Spring Split. Bye.
Ooh, you can now get
Your Janna, Willem isn't able to pin him against the wall, but Godbro will come in and take him out. Rudy has found Cajal, made the other way around. It's going to be going into lifeline passive. There's Rudy going down. Cass as well also gets exploded. Nuxalon is going to be jumping forwards aggressively and gets the Monsoon. Willem does get locked down though. There's the E coming out from Cajal. Lambtra Spike will start keeping people alive, and actually a lot of damage now going on to the Copenhagen Wolves.
I feel like Wolves can buy enough time here.
He's got to ult. He has to ult like right now.
It's
the
not
first
up yet.
Nexus turret is going down. It's only coming up in a couple seconds. There's the ultimate, but the second Nexus turret is going out. Cajal and Wicked are coming up in 5 seconds, and Huma with the counter push managed to secure the Nexus, and they are the spring split champions here in Challenger.